YouTube's algorithm has one primary focus: to show viewers videos that they're likely to watch and will probably enjoy, leading them to spend more and more time on the platform, watching more and more videos. And while this is a bit of an oversimplification, the broad concept really is that simple, where as your video is pushed further and further beyond your core audience, how new viewers react to it can have a huge impact on how well it does. Meaning that the best way to improve how your videos perform on YouTube is to improve how viewers respond to them. One way to do this is by improving your video's production value, and one way to do that is by adding background music. But does adding background music to a YouTube video really make it better? Does it make it easier to watch? Does it have a noticeable effect on the metrics that the YouTube algorithm cares about? Or does it just annoy your viewers and get in the way? It's worth mentioning at this point that the effect of music on a video's quality is always going to be subjective to some degree. While there is evidence that adding music to a video can make it objectively better, and by that I mean easier or more enjoyable to watch, there will always be some viewers that just don't like background music in a YouTube video. Meaning that for everyone who likes your video more because of its music, there will be someone who likes it less. But in many cases, and more often than not, adding music can improve a video. But how? Why would you add background music to a YouTube video in the first place? There are two main reasons why you might want to add background music to a video: stylistic reasons and functional reasons. Stylistic reasons include any artistic motivation for adding background music, such as adding a personal style to your videos, giving them a sense of a consistent brand, or using music to communicate a video's tone. But there are also situations in which the choice of music is not stylistic and is instead functional. There are real reasons why adding music can change the perception of a video's quality. It can help to hide silences, fill gaps, and even cover up background noise or microphone hiss. What's more, if the more successful creators in your niche are also using background music, emulating their approach to production standards can help to give your videos the same impression of quality. But what does any of that actually mean for the performance of your videos? Will they actually do any better? Generally speaking, adding background music to a video can affect its performance, both positively and negatively, in three main ways. It can make a video more engaging, meaning that a viewer is more likely to interact with it positively by liking, commenting, or subscribing. It might be easier to watch, meaning a higher proportion of viewers are willing to watch more of the video. Or it's considered to be better because it reaches a wider audience, achieving a higher number of views than you'd typically expect. But does any of this actually work? For the most part, it's highly subjective. For example, while there are data points that are used to measure technical video engagement, the only real statistics that are available to measure the effect of background music is public opinion. Put simply, when asked, do people like background music in videos? The general opinion is that they do. For example, a poll of users on the Linus Tech Tips forum found that around 73% of viewers liked the addition of background music in their videos, while around 27% wanted to see it removed. This is an obvious vote in support of background music, but there's still a sizable chunk of viewers, more than a quarter, who don't like it at all. What's more, every discussion on the topic is seemingly split between those who like music in videos and those who don't. So if public opinion can't provide a definitive answer, what does the science say? There is an argument to be made that background music in a video can improve viewer retention, meaning that a video with music in it is generally easier to watch and a viewer may be less likely to stop watching halfway through. Studies on the cognitive effects of background music that accompany other tasks generally support this argument. But despite this, the actual results are often mixed, inconclusive, and highly dependent on the context. Since while the available studies do confirm that there's scientific evidence to suggest music can make a video better, the wrong music at the wrong time is almost always going to make it worse, which can have an effect on how the video performs. So, while there is no definitive evidence to say that simply adding background music to a video will make it perform better, the fact that many people have such strong opinions about it supports the theory that it is a contributing factor to how well a video does, just not in the way you might think. YouTube's algorithm is based on how viewers react to a video. where new content will typically be served to your core audience, such as your subscribers and people who've recently watched your other videos, after which it's progressively served to new audiences with adjacent interests. At this point, the performance of the video depends on how well it's received by these new audiences, where positive reactions and engagement will cause the video to be served to more and more people, while negative interactions will stop it in its tracks. Meaning that, since most people do like background music in videos, it's reasonable to assume that adding music that works well can help a video to reach a wider audience. But only if it works well. The positive impact of adding music is not insignificant, it's worth doing, and for some videos it can have a huge impact on how they are perceived. But the negative impact of music that doesn't work is likely to be much larger in most cases. Meaning that it's not necessarily as simple as background music makes a video better. Instead, it's more that the right music can moderately improve a video, but the wrong music can ruin it. So what is the right music? Despite being a highly subjective decision, there are a few considerations that you can make to help your choice of background music be more functional. For example, narrative videos that tell a story, whether fictional or not, usually work well with a musical score, in the same way that music is used in film and TV to deliver information about how the viewer is supposed to feel. While candid videos, on the other hand, which are meant to feel live and unscripted, might not need any music at all, since adding a non-diegetic element, meaning something that's not actually in the scene, can make it feel staged. These examples are at opposite ends of the scale, but there are a lot of video formats that fall in the middle, such as educational content, live streams, and general interest videos that may benefit from music, but it's less obvious how. In which case, you'll need to be careful how you add your music to avoid annoying your viewers. In these cases, where background music isn't functional to the format of the video but might be useful, it's important that the music doesn't get in the way of the content. Which means that it should match the pace of the video, it should probably be instrumental, and ideally will be played at a low volume. And I mean really low, probably lower than you think it should be. A volume of around -30 to -40 decibels is probably a good starting point, depending on the loudness of the music and the volume of your video's dialogue. Dropping the volume this low may make the music difficult to hear, but this is where using music that's fit for purpose can be extremely important. Not all music can sit in the background easily, and it may not work when it's turned down. This is to do with the music's dynamic range, which is the difference between the loudest and quietest parts of an audio signal. A low dynamic range is generally better for low-level background music, since it allows more of the details to come through when the volume is turned down. Luckily, testing to see if the music you want to use is easy. Just turn down your volume when you're previewing tracks. Use the link in the video description to visit our selection of royalty-free music, made specifically for YouTubers, and try it for yourself.